boy, today's a good day.
Well, what's up? Welcome to the show. This is the Babyface Breakdown. I'm Boosh Dingo, the Lucha Dork, and this is
This is a dark time. I'm Big Bubba Brogdon.
well, yeah, man. So been an interesting week for you, huh?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll let you pour you some more club soda there. I have a sip on a little bit of the bubbly.
Oh, have some of this. It'll clear that bubbly out. So we were going to start with some wrestling news.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I'll jump in with NWA and get that out of the way. It's not really so much news as far as just kind of my take on what's recently been going on there. I watched Hard Times 3, got caught up on that. Pretty underwhelming pay-per-view. I think it was Davey Richards and Colby Carino match. That was a pretty good match. One of the better matches on the show. The main event, of course, I already knew what was going to happen there, but even watching the main event and knowing what the outcome was going to be, I still, had a hard time believing that Tyrus was going to be the one to come out on top there. I think I would have went with Cardona. He's had such a good run since he left WWE and seems primed to be a champion, main event player. But yeah, and then I watched the season premiere of Power, the first episode after the pay-per-view, and it was completely forgettable. I would struggle now to even tell you, really much about it. They started the show with Tyrus and his clan coming to the ring and cutting a promo that was very dull and underwhelming. And yeah, the rest of the episode was, like I said, pretty forgettable, pretty weak. I think NWA is really going to have to step it up. I thought that even though the Tyrus move was a bit questionable, it did create some buzz. People were talking about NWA probably more so than they had been in a while. So that's why I've made it a point to tune into the first episode of Power after that event, thinking that, okay, you've got eyes on you. Let's see what you do with it. And I would consider it a pretty big fail. So yeah, that's all I got for NWA. I can move on from that pretty quick. I'm assuming you didn't really tune into any NWA this week.
No. No.
And I wouldn't really fault you for that.
I did watch Full Gear, so
yeah, and I didn't. I'm actually watching it right now. Just started the first match. So my eyes are going to be fixed down here watching. Right now it's Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus opening the event in a cage match. Yeah, I had a pretty busy weekend. My wife's family was in from out of town. We were hosting them, and then we had their Thanksgiving celebration today, which was also out of town for us. So we had to all take a drive. So I've only been home about an hour, and finally got the house all to myself. So I'm playing a little bit of catch up here. I guess we'll get into the specifics. Maybe the full rundown from Full Gear if you want to kind of take the lead with that.
I'll let you watch for a second. I'll actually go over some of the WWE stuff. So
okay, cool. Well, yeah, we can do that and come back to Full Gear. Let me get a match or two. I did see spoilers for Full Gear. I've seen.
I think I accidentally sent you some spoilers.
It's all good, man. I knew, with things like this, if you get on the internet, it's going to happen. So I knew that was the risk that I took. And like I said, I got a pretty good bit of spoilers. I know the results for most of the matches. So not going to be any big surprises for me here.
Well, I can start off by saying I won't really be covering NXT because I didn't watch NXT. I do know that Braun Breaker ended up beating Von Wagner, and Wesley signed a contract, and that Braun Breaker's next opponent allegedly is Apollo Crews. But that's all I know about NXT. So,
I wanted to try to, watch NXT since I watched last week, but I didn't have the time for it. So no NXT news this week. I guess Raw. Did you watch? Did you catch Raw?
I did catch Raw. I caught Raw. They are building heavily around this United States Championship picture.
Well, yeah, we touched on that, a little bit last week, with the brand split, having the Raw roster, the main belt over there, the most prestigious belt over there, is the U.S. title. So they seem to have to be building around that, which is a good thing, I think, for the title itself, because for a while now the United States title, the Intercontinental title, they all seem kind of like an afterthought, and not really as prestigious as they were, back when I was growing up.
Yeah. But about that, we had Rollins versus Ali for the United States Championship, I believe. And Rollins ended up winning that.
Yeah.
And then later, Lashley came down to attack Ali. And then after that, Theory came down to attack Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I am liking this new side of Theory. So
yeah, you're coming around quicker than I thought you would. But good on you for being honest. I guess Ziggler Austin Theory match.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was
a
good
like matches that ended in disqualifications, but I did like that tone of the match.
Yeah, the match itself, was a pretty good match. Pretty entertaining, pretty solid. Good storytelling there.
The ending was the best.
Yeah, especially where we ended up. Of course, the ending was pretty awesome. So, and I think, seeing that side of Theory was what, a lot of people have been needing, and yourself included. So it was good to see that play out as quickly as it did. And, I think even that Money in the Bank loss, a lot of people were bragging on it at first, and it's seeming to turn into kind of the catalyst for this new Austin Theory that we're seeing. So I'm not so mad at it anymore. I think it probably was a good jumping point, to where we're headed.
Yeah, probably was. Let's see. What else happened overall? We had Nikki Cross throw away the 24/7 championship. Finally.
Yeah. Was that was on this past week's Raw?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe Nikki Cross threw away the championship and joined Bayley and her group.
Yeah, it was kind of sad that she missed the trash can. It kind of became like a funny little moment. Anyway, so
Kind of like Times O'Neil doing the world's greatest slide.
yeah, and it still had the same effect, I think, as if she would have made it into the trash can. So we all get what was happening there. Yeah, so I guess Mia Yim, hanging out with the OC. I caught some of that. I'm not really, not really feeling it, man.
Really?
Yeah, it seems weird. Seems weird and kind of forced, kind of out of place. Yeah, I don't know a lot about Mia Yim. I mentioned that before, but I'm not really sold on her. I had her match with Tamina. Is that who she wrestled? Tamina Snuka?
I didn't really watch the Mia Yim match.
Oh, well, good, because it was bad. It wasn't good. So I tried to give her a chance, and watch some of her in-ring work, and I was not impressed with her in-ring work. The segments with the OC, like I said, just felt kind of forced and out of place. AJ Styles, the Good Brothers, those guys have chemistry together. Mia Yim did not really seem to have any chemistry with them. It just seemed like one of those weird things that WWE was trying to force that wasn't really clicking. So yeah, that was one thing for me. I haven't really seen Gable and Otis in quite a while.
I haven't either.
Well, I watched some of their segments and their stuff, and it was fairly enjoyable. I don't really know what this new kind of gimmick thing is that Gable is doing, because he wasn't doing this a while back when I was watching him, but with the shush
thing, yeah.
And I think it's pretty obvious comparison that many people have made, and I've made it before with Gable's wrestling style, comparing him to Kurt Angle. But this new, kind of shushing gimmick and kind of character that he's developed also reminds me a bit of Kurt Angle.
That arrogant side of him, that kind of like,
yeah, and kind of corny and goofy, but in a way that is kind of endearing and works. I've always really liked Gable. I mean, Otis. So his little bit, his little contribution there was enjoyable too. So I enjoyed that little bit of Raw was good. Matt Riddle. We can just add him to the list of guys that I am not a fan of.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like him.
I like Matt Riddle. I don't like the person, but I like the character.
Yeah, I mean, his in-ring work is fine. I don't really much have much of a problem with that. But yeah, Matt Riddle, the character, the stoner bro, kind of character, it just really gets on my nerves. So I watched, a little bit of his stuff. He had a backstage segment in a match, and like I said, the match was decent enough. But the character work from him just it annoys me, man. So yeah, I guess
Fish Randy Orton with him.
Yeah, I didn't catch much of that. I saw some clips of that when it was going on, but I wasn't actively watching when that was going on. But yeah, I guess my only other takeaway, I really enjoy Corey Graves as a commentator. He was kind of flip-flopping a little bit throughout the night, which would be my only kind of critique of him. One moment he's a heel commentator who's defending the heels. The next moment he seems to be a babyface commentator who's coming down on the heels. And I wish he would just solidly take on the role of the heel commentator and just be consistent with
I
that.
think that they're just going for favorite commentator, a commentator that likes the certain wrestler.
Yeah. I mean, I miss the Bobby Heenan type, commentator where he's a heel all throughout the show. He only talks up the heels and defends them and
Or
talks
just
down.
the old Michael Cole.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my main takeaways from Raw. With, of course, the the highlight, the thing to remember and to talk about is Austin Theory's kind of turn that he did there, being a bit more brutal. I love that he, even when he was having the match with Ziggler, how he was talking to him throughout the match and saying, like, they did a backstage segment before, and Ziggler was saying, that he was a kid. And so often throughout the match, Austin was saying, I'm not a kid. I'm not a kid. And when he snapped at the end, he kept saying that. So yeah, it was good work, man. I'm very, invested in that Austin Theory storyline. So
Yeah, we'll bring back Austin Theory up a little later. I have to say a few words about him.
Yeah.
Hint: the club soda. If y'all like club soda, what's wrong with you? This stuff's disgusting. I'm only putting this on myself because I really don't want to say what I'm going to say later on.
I don't know that I've ever had club soda. So.
Oh God, it burns the throat. See, this is what I feel like drinking alcohol would be like.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my share of alcohol, but never had the club soda, so I don't know how to compare those.
I mean, usually club soda is added to alcohol, so.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I didn't catch NXT. I didn't catch SmackDown. So I guess that's probably going to do it for me for WWE for the week. So I mean, if you have anything,
at SmackDown.
I saw some clips. I saw the Eli Drake, Bray Wyatt interactions.
You can't call him LA Knight. You cannot call him LA Knight.
Yeah. So what are you thinking about SmackDown?
SmackDown's still better than Raw right now, just because of the superstar capacity, and because both world titles have been merged into one onto the show.
Yeah.
And because Sami Zayn's around.
So you enjoyed SmackDown more than Raw this week
right now. Yeah. But War Games is coming up next week.
Yeah.
Next weekend is War Games Survivor Series.
Cool. Yeah, I saw. I guess Kevin Owens
joining Team Brute.
Yeah. So we've got the Brutes, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre,
Ridge Holland.
Yeah, Butch, and Kevin Owens going up against the Bloodline.
Yep.
That's promising, man. It seems like it could be pretty good.
I want to say the Bloodline will win, and Sammy gets the pin.
That's a pretty fair prediction. Could definitely make things a bit more interesting there.
And I want to say that if Sammy does get the pin, he's going to get the pin either against Ridge Holland or Butch.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction for next week.
Okay, I think it's a pretty good one, man. Pretty good prediction.
And what else happened? We had the World Cup, the SmackDown World Cup, first round continue.
Yeah, I guess I saw. Is it Ricochet and Braun Strowman had a little moment?
Yeah, because Ricochet beat Mustafa Ali, which next round Ricochet will face Braun Strowman.
Yeah, and they had a little bit backstage where I guess Ricochet was bringing up the infamous Braun Strowman tweet about the flippy floppers. I thought that was interesting that WWE's kind of bringing that up and kind of incorporating it into a storyline because they've now kind of pitted themselves you know against each other. They have Braun kind of representing the
Giant.
Yeah, and then Ricochet representing the flippy floppers. And that tweet was kind of dumb, but it also, I don't know, garnered a little bit more like real life heat than I think it probably should have. So I think people are probably gonna take that match a little more seriously than they probably should.
Yeah.
Because if Braun wins, it's going to kind of appear as though WWE is endorsing maybe what he said or agreeing with what he said. And then I guess the alternative there would be going with Ricochet. So it's like either way, I think fans, who probably took a side, either way are going to be a little upset, with the outcome there. And I do think, I like Ricochet, but I do think Braun Strowman probably should be the one to come out on top there.
I think Ricochet's going to win by countout. If Ricochet ends up winning, he's not pinning Braun Strowman. He's winning by countout.
Yeah.
Because Gunther and Braun have been having some heat lately. And I don't think Braun's going to win the tournament, so I think he'll lose here by countout.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, it'll be. I'm interested, and I think I'm a little more interested because of them, incorporating the tweet into the storyline.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
Yeah.
So it'll be Braun versus Ricochet in the semifinals, and then it'll also be Butch versus Santos Escobar because Butch beat Sami Zayn.
Well, that should be a pretty good match.
It should. Probably gonna have Santos come out on top, but either way.
Yeah, I think either outcome there is probably good, and I think it should be a good match. So
because I want to see a Ricochet versus Santos Escobar match, kind of draw back to their days back in Lucha Underground.
Yeah,
with Bono versus Puma.
Yeah, and it would be a good match, I'm sure.
It would. What do you think about Ronda and Shayna being a team?
I think it was probably inevitable to pair those two up, just because of their history together and kind of their real world relationship. So yeah, I think that was. I'm glad they didn't do it right off the bat. But yeah, I mean, and they're both pretty awesome in their own right. So I think putting them together makes them a little bit of a formidable force.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, it was very surprising for Shotzi to get the win over Shayna on Friday. All because Raquel Gonzalez got involved.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. But yeah, I'm what I have seen of Shotzi has not really, not really piqued much interest.
Well, I liked Shotzi when she was back in NXT, so.
Yeah. I mean, she's decent enough. The gimmick, with the tank. I know a lot of people enjoy that. I think it's kind of cheesy, kind of weird.
Hey, it could be worse. She could be on a Walmart scooter.
Yeah, fair point. Could be worse.
Could be worse.
but that's what it. I mean, it reminds me of like the kids, kind of electric, cars that you get at, Walmart for like $200 that you can put your kid in and they can ride it around. It just, I don't know, seems kind of kiddie.
Yeah, well, it looks fun. The idea is fun. Just the delivery is not all that
Yeah.
show and tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all the news for WWE that I have, though. I'm not going to ruin AEW much for you until you've seen it, because I've ruined a bit of it for you, but you're watching it right now, so.
I am. Like I said, I've gotten a lot of the spoilers. I mean, I can kind of take the lead and talk about what I know has happened. I can't really speak to quality of the event or quality of the matches because I haven't really watched. I did just finish Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. That match just ended, and it looked pretty entertaining. I saw the spot with Jungle Boy jumping from the top of the cage. That looked pretty good. So I think that was a good outcome. Jungle Boy won. Looked like a pretty enjoyable match with a pretty cool spot. So, what did you think of that match?
Honestly, I didn't even watch that match.
Oh no, just skipped it.
Yeah, I skipped it. I didn't want to watch that match because it didn't interest me.
Fair enough. Christian Cage tried to get involved. I think it looked like he stole a key and was trying to open the door, but he got caught by a few refs and they, drug him back to the back, so he couldn't interfere. Once I saw that, I had a pretty good feeling that Jungle Boy was going to come out on top.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked like a fine match. Right now we've got Death Triangle coming to the ring.
You're not gonna like that one.
No,
you're not gonna like that match. Well, you might.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's one that I would think that I would like. We've got Pentagon and his Joker attire, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, so they're out in the ring, and we've got the Elite making their return to face them for the trios titles. Again, haven't seen the match yet, but I would expect it to be a pretty good match. I did see, I guess, a clip on Instagram from this match where the crowd gets a pretty interesting chant going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which made, I had a good chuckle.
Yeah, no, I just about fell on my chair when I heard that.
It's pretty funny. Good on the fans.
I don't know what that whole chant is. It's based around the whole CM Punk Elite thing. So
Yeah.
they do a very interesting chant.
Yeah, it's an FU CM Punk chant, or FCM Punk chant. And my wife saw the clip while I was watching it, and she had to be reminded. She was like, "Why are they chanting that when CM Punk's not even in the match?" And so I had to remind her what was going on there. But yeah, there's the kind of backstage altercation between the Elite and CM Punk that led to CM Punk, the Elite, all being suspended. And this is the Elite making their return after that suspension. So the fans have pretty much chosen sides. I think the majority of people are kind of going with the Elite on this one. And definitely it seemed that the majority of the people at this event are with the Elite.
Yeah. Well,
And yeah, I would put myself in that camp too. I think I think CM Punk, used to have a place um, in wrestling, but I think that time has come to an end.
let's say you were a big CM Punk fan.
Big CM Punk fan. I got really. I mean, he's part of what brought me back into wrestling. I wasn't really watching much during the 2000s. And the infamous pipe bomb is what got my attention, and brought me back. So dove into CM Punk and was watching the Ring of Honor stuff and a lot of his indie matches, the Eddie Guerrero versus CM Punk. Yeah, still, I mean, some of that classic stuff I think still has a place in my heart. But the AEW return, man, just I wanted to enjoy it, but I found myself not really enjoying what I was seeing. It felt like he had lost a step and just wasn't what he used to be.
He wasn't ring ready.
No. And yeah, when he had that feud with MJF, which was probably one of the better things that he did in AEW, MJF cut a promo on him and called him nostalgia, and that actually kind of rang pretty true to me. I realized at that point that like I wasn't really enjoying the new CM Punk. What I had been kind of holding on to was the nostalgia of CM Punk from years
That's what
past.
everyone was really doing.
Yeah, I think so. But seeing, kind of some of the backstage kind of stuff with CM Punk, and just that his matches weren't living up to what people had hyped in their heads. I think a lot of people realized that they were just hanging on to something that wasn't really there. And then when he started causing problems, in the locker room, and AEW fans, like them or not, they're pretty passionate about the product. They love AEW, and so I think for someone to be there who's seemingly no good for the locker room, no good for the product. I think CM Punk drew some money, of course. People buying shirts and merchandise, and when you're running, show after show after show in Chicago, of course you're selling tickets. But yeah, I think people powered on him pretty quick, and rightfully so. I'm pretty happy to see him gone, and hopefully, he doesn't go and knock on Impact's door
Or WWE's door.
Well, I really doubt that WWE would have him back.
Vince would do some stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, I really don't see Triple H. Vince was able to get over his beef with a lot of wrestlers from years past and bring them back. I think if Vince were still in charge, there might be a greater chance of Punk making a return. But with Triple H calling shots now, yeah, I don't see that as very likely. So I'm not really too concerned with him going back to WWE. Like I said, I just worry about him, showing up in Impact or somewhere like that, which I think CM Punk has so much of an ego that he would probably see Impact as being beneath him at this point. So I don't even really know that I should worry much about that. I think he might be done as far as an in-ring competitor,
Yeah.
I did see him doing commentary for, I guess, an MMA fight this past week. So I would expect to see him, doing something more along those lines than making a return to in-ring action.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
As long as he's not in the ring or going off on someone or saying this person's mom and them are using the same credit card, but
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting shot to take at Colt Cabana with Tony Khan sitting right by his side.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess that's all for news.
Midway through this trios championship match, man, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing so far. So
Well, it's good. It's about to take a turn for the worst.
okay.
In my opinion, it does. Just a quick note to everyone. I know I'm acting very weird. I'm a little sick. Yesterday I was mowing the lawn. You can even tell my voice is kind of scrappy. Just some clippings and leaves just flew into my system. If you see me rubbing my eyes, rubbing my nose, that's just my allergies. And if you see me drifting away a little bit, I'm trying to wake up. This was not only for the news. This is also so. This is stuff is really bad. It's probably better than coffee to wake you up. Ugh.
Well, you gotta wear a mask when you do yard work, man. I do my yard work looking like this. Yeah, get lots of weird looks from the neighbors, and that doesn't really help with the allergies. Interestingly enough.
I just thought that was your everyday attire.
Yeah. This is what I look like when I shower. Yeah. Doctor visits. It's a fun life.
Man, those wedding pictures must be weird.
You have no idea.
Well, I guess we better get to the part of the video where I reveal what the title means.
Yeah. So Big Bubba has a confession to make.
See, I've been crapping on Austin Theory for a bit now. Listen.
Yeah.
I've never actually hated the guy.
Right. Not a fan of the gimmick. I think
I wasn't a fan of the gimmick.
Yeah. I think you made it pretty clear in the beginning that, it wasn't particularly his in-ring work or the guy himself that you weren't a fan of. It was
Right.
kind of the arrogant, babyface, selfie, kind of jerk, gimmick.
Right. I was gonna say, guys, I actually like Austin Theory. Like, I like the character. I didn't like Theory, but I liked Austin Theory. I liked him back when he debuted during the quarantine days, all the way up till main roster debut.
Yeah, it's his
and
time
then
with
Theory hit, and then I hated him.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really good for him when he was with Seth Rollins and Murphy. That was I liked that group.
I forgot about that. That was pretty short lived, right?
Yeah, that was short lived. Same with him and Andrade and Angel Garza.
See, I wasn't aware of that affiliation either.
That was during the quarantine days.
Yeah. So I'm familiar with Theory from his indie days before even getting signed by WWE. So I had heard that he got signed. It was going to be popping up in NXT, and at the time I wasn't watching much WWE or NXT, but I did start catching clips of him when he was doing the stuff with Johnny Gargano in The Way. So yeah, I was seeing some of that. I wasn't too interested in that. So I really didn't catch anything between that and his Money in the Bank win. Once he won the Money in the Bank, that's when I kind of started checking back in on Theory.
You see, Theory debuted in NXT. He did like 3-4 matches in NXT. And then around WrestleMania time, they brought him up to the main roster because either Andrade was injured or they needed someone else to fill in the spot with Angel Garza for a tag team title match, and then he was just on the roster.
Yeah. I thought the call up was happened pretty fast, but I've been big on Theory. I've been telling you that ever since we've been having these conversations, and so I wasn't really too surprised in how quickly they called him up, because I've been big on him for a while and thought that he was that was where he was going to end up. I see a lot of talent in the kid, or the guy. I'm not going to call him a kid. He
doesn't want to be called kid.
Yeah, he might come after me. So
he might put you through a table.
Right. We don't want that. So.
But yeah, no. The one thing, the downfall of me liking Theory is when he joined with Johnny Gargano, and then started being the dumb guy.
Yeah.
That's when I started really not liking him.
Yeah, I didn't. Like I said, I only caught a few clips of that. Wasn't anything that interests me. So
that's really just when I didn't like him, is when he was with the Way and Johnny Gargano, and after the Dexter Lumis incident where he was dumb and then went to Raw and became selfie guy. Now I'm a little back on track with the Theory. Again, he's got to do something really amazing. He's done some really good things right now these past couple of weeks, but he's got to do something that actually impresses me.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he's getting there. I think he's at least got you interested and got you open to the idea of being a Theory fan.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the big news, guys. I don't hate Austin Theory.
Yeah.
I just don't like the selfie gimmick. I was a fan of Austin Theory. Again, I just brought up a thing that you didn't even know about, so
yeah,
I kind of like him from the get-go.
Yeah, but enjoying that club soda, huh?
Not much left. Dude, that 2-liter was not by myself, but it was horrendous. If you haven't tried anything like bad drink-wise that's not even alcohol, I've never had alcohol. I think this is as close to alcohol as I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a drinker these days. I might have the occasional beer, but even that, a lot of the beer that I like is not very very popular with the majority of people. So
yeah,
which is a good thing when you're younger and living your party days, because everybody's always trying to snag a beer. So you find out the stuff that you like that nobody else likes, and that's the stuff that you take to parties and take around, because nobody wants it.
Yeah. See, the thing is with Club Soda, there a year ago from yesterday, me and my friends went to a birthday party. We asked for Sprite. We asked for Sprite for the group of us, the 6 of us. We were thirsty. We were bowling. We were having some pizza. We want some Sprite. They bring back Sprite. And we taste it. And we're like, this isn't Sprite. This is not Sprite. We know what Sprite is. And so I get to tasting it. I get it. That's the exact reaction I had. I was like, this isn't Sprite. It was Club Soda they got from the bar.
I'll have to try some soon, just so I can know what all the fuss is about.
Again, guys, I am so sorry. I look drained. I look at myself. I am white, oily. You can see bags under my eyes.
Yeah.
My nose is red. I look horrendous.
Advantage to wearing a mask, man.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought about getting like a paper bag like Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
God. But how are you liking Full Gear so far?
So far, so good, man. Still in the trios match. From what I've been seeing of it, it's looking pretty good, man. And I wouldn't expect to not like it, really. I'm a big fan of Pac and the Lucha Brothers, Death Triangle. Big fan there. I'm not a huge fan of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. But I think their style works really well with the Young Bucks or with Death Triangle. So seeing them go at it is pretty exciting, pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Did you catch Dynamite or Rampage this week?
Yeah, and lead up to this?
Yeah.
I did. With I forget if it was Dynamite or if it was Rampage where Joe turned on Wardlow. Or was that last week?
That was last week.
That was last week.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not catch Rampage this week.
Yeah, I didn't catch Rampage this week. I did watch Dynamite. Had I guess Jericho and Guevara versus Claudio Castagnoli and Daniel Bryan. That was a pretty good match. I'm big on all three of those guys aside from Guevara. So of course, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho. Those are three of my favorite wrestlers just in general. So that was worth the watch, man. I enjoyed that. The AR Fox Top Flight match with Death Triangle. That was really good. AR Fox is another one of those guys that I'm quite familiar with from the indie scene. He's based out of Atlanta.
Fox is the head coach of Atlanta, of WWE for Atlanta.
Yes. Yeah.
I follow a lot of those guys. I follow a lot of guys that come out of Atlanta.
Yeah, and he's great, man. So I was glad to see. He did have a match with Serpentico on Dark. I had not had a chance to catch that, but that's one I'm going to sit down and watch probably tomorrow.
I'm guessing Fox won that one.
I'm sure he did. Yeah, they Serpentico has been kind of filling that jobber role.
Yeah.
But I've mentioned before, I'm a big Serpentico fan, and so yeah, I saw that Serpentico was going up against AR Fox on Dark, and I was like, man, I need to at least catch that match because I don't typically watch Dark. But then I watched Dynamite and that AR Fox Top Flight versus Death Triangle. That was a really good match. AR Fox did really well, I think, in his first kind of televised showing. So that was good. Big Chungus made an appearance. Did you see the Big Chungus? The Big Chungus Among Us?
No.
No? Are you familiar with Big Chungus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody brought a Big Chungus sign and was throwing it up, behind the hard cam throughout the night.
I wish it just had text Quincy Elliott underneath.
Oh, that was an unexpected treat. Made me laugh.
Yeah. Okay, guys. One thing I'm not sorry for is the Quincy Elliott shaming. I do not like Quincy Elliott.
No, you won't have any complaints from me, man. just baffled by that person's existence in NXT. I really don't get it. So
There are better gimmicks than being queer.
yeah, I mean, people like to compare, him to maybe Goldust or some of the other similar gimmicks, but it to me it doesn't. The gimmick doesn't really work as well when the person is openly gay. The thing that worked about Goldust was the mystery. You didn't know. Um, so yeah, the Quincy gimmick just doesn't work for me. And in a industry that is sports and where your physique and your I guess kind of the conditioning that you're supposed to be in is rather important. I don't think it looks too good, coming to the ring in a Walmart cart. So,
and he doesn't even talk on the mic often.
Yeah,
no mic skills apparently.
He doesn't seem to have any in-ring skills either. So, so yeah, we got the end of that trios championship match. It was a pretty good match. I enjoyed it, man. I'm not quite sure why you thought I might not enjoy that. But yeah, I thought that was good. Good ending. Good
Pat giving
kind of
Ray
long-term.
the hammer.
Yeah, that's kind of like long-term storytelling there. They've been kind of having some inner turmoil within the Death Triangle, with Pac being a bit more willing to go there, willing to cheat, willing to do whatever it takes to win, kind of acting as a heel, with Phoenix playing the role of the babyface and being reluctant to cheat or to use weapons or take it to that place. And so over this last several weeks or however long it's been, you've seen Pac kind of being the devil on his shoulder and getting in his ear and trying to get him there. And yeah, Phoenix seemed to give into it and finally use the hammer to win. And I half expected the Elite to walk away as champions. So that was a bit of a surprise to see Death Triangle get the win over the Elite. I know it wasn't a clean win, but it's still a win. Win's a win.
Yeah, you gotta think though. I think they did really smart with writing the Elite losing.
Yeah,
because of what CM Punk has said.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, even myself, I expected them to win. So doing something that's unexpected is always a good thing in wrestling. So if you can surprise me, yeah, I'm down for that. So, so yeah, this next match I am probably about to skip. So let me grab the remote here.
Oh, don't tell me you're going to skip. What is it? The Acclaim versus
Swerve? No. The next one is Nyla Rose versus Jade Cargill.
Oh yeah, skip that one. That was trash.
Yeah.
That one was good.
The entrance that's going on right now is Nyla Rose coming out with Vicky Guerrero, with Vicky
championship, and yeah,
Vicky's. They're riding in the souped up car with Vicky wearing the shirt that says "I am your mommy."
Skip it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a bit disrespectful. Jade Cargill coming out dressed like Chitara from the Thundercats. That's pretty cool. I think that's a step up from the She-Hulk attire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a much bigger fan of Thundercats than I am She-Hulk. So, and I like Jade Cargill. Okay. I know some people are not too big on her. I think the way that AEW has handled her has been pretty good, and she's made progress. I know the obvious comparison that people make at times too of Bill Goldberg. Um, I can kind of see that not only in the fact that she's undefeated and has this long streak going, but Bill Goldberg was not very good his first TV match. But you did see him progress and get to a point where he was actually a pretty good sports entertainer. I don't know that I would go so far as to call him a good wrestler, but I think Cargill has a lot in common with him in that sense. She was pretty green at first, and I've seen progression. So again, I wouldn't call her a good wrestler, but I think she's a fine sports entertainer. So
Yeah. Oh, so what you skipping to now?
so yeah, next match: Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho, Claudio Castagnoli, Sammy Guevara in a four-way for
That was a
the.
great match.
Say it again.
That was a great match.
Yeah. Well,
It's got awesome storytelling too.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned a minute ago they had the four of them in like a 2-on-2 tag match on Dynamite, and yeah, really Claudio Castagnoli, Danielson, Jericho. I'm big on all those guys, so I would be amazed if it were anything less than a good match or a great match.
The only thing I'll tell you is watch the interaction between Jericho and Guevara.
Okay.
Because they're not on the. I'll tell you what, they don't really get on the same page.
Yeah, I half expected that. It's a four-way, so every man for himself. When you have, yeah, you got a title on the line. You've got a four-way, every man for themselves, and two of those people are aligned in a group faction. You're probably bound to see some friction arise. So
yeah.
I'm gonna fast forward past the entrances and get to the meat.
Ooh.
Bless you, bud.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, we got any topic for us today, or was that just about it?
I think that's probably about it. Like I said, I'm a bit behind. What is Guevara wearing? What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? That's bad. It's really bad. Let's see if I can get a picture of that.
So you saw his entrance attire, huh?
Wow. Somebody had to be pranking him, right? Like there's no way that he thought that looked good, right?
Well, it is Sammy Guevara.
It's Sammy Guevara.
See if you could probably pull it up. Cause yeah, it don't look good.
It's rough, man.
Oh, man, that's funny.
So yeah, this is let's see if we can.
He tried. He tried something.
That's not even going to come through and show how awful that really is. We got to figure out how to pull up some screenshots on the web here.
Hey,
Yeah,
at least you can edit it in.
yeah, that'll definitely be edited in when the edited version goes up. That's bad, man. That's bad. I don't know. Like, I would put that up there as being like one of the silliest,
tires.
cringiest, yeah, just worst attires that I've probably.
It wasn't
ever.
even trying.
I mean,
it would have been better coming out without it on. Just him and his,
just no entrance attire.
That would have been better.
Yeah, just come out in your in-ring, wrestling gear.
Don't do that. What's wrong with you? Don't do that.
It was bad. It was bad. Guevara used to wear like a little panda mask thing. Not really a mask, but like a hat. Like a panda head on it.
Panda head trophy.
Yeah, and I always thought that was kind of silly too, but man, this tops that by far. This is bad.
I always liked the trophy headpieces.
I mean, for him, like the panda, I didn't mind it. It wasn't anything that I was like, gonna rag him for. But
I think we did that as well in Lucha Underground, in the final season of Lucha Underground, because that was a very common thing that people did in Lucha Underground.
Yeah, it fit more there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just awful, man. Like I honestly feel like somebody might have pranked him. Like
this was a dare.
Or they get the whoever the costume designer is backstage to just make this for him, and maybe Jericho comes to him and tells him like, man, this is awesome. We have this awesome outfit for you, and he has to be sold on it because it's just so bad.
He's like, all right. We're like, all right. Who'd you lose a bet to?
Yeah.
Who'd you piss? Who? What higher up did you piss off this time?
Right.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's fair. It might be punishment for being Sammy Guevara.
Oh. Tell you what, I don't know if it's the club soda telling me, but this ain't bad anymore.
It's growing on you.
Club soda talking, but I don't think this is getting any worse. I bet you if I drink this on the daily, I get used to it, and it just wouldn't affect me anymore. And then my blood would just be club soda and blood, and just I die in 2 days.
We can get used to just about anything. So, yeah. I did get a new figure this week. It's new to me, but it's not new. It's vintage. So I don't know. Do you have many of the like vintage WWF Hasbro figures?
I think I have. No, I don't. No, well, hold on. I think I do. Let me look. No, not much Hasbro. I got a lot of Jacks.
Okay. Well, the current WWE, like Mattel, partnership, they released a retro wave that is really them redoing the old Hasbro figures from the 90s.
Yeah.
Those were my figures when I was a kid. So, my wrestling toys were the WWF Hasbro, like early 90s era. Thankfully, my mother hung on to maybe about 15 or 16 of my originals, tucked them away in a closet, and I got those back from her not too long ago. But I would find these guys randomly at flea markets and Goodwills and places like that, and pick them up because there's a lot of nostalgia attached for me. And of course, there were some that I wanted when I was a kid that I just never got my hands on. I never got. So, we've mentioned West Point Buy Sell Trade. Found a old Hasbro wrestling figure that has always eluded me. It's not very common. It's one of the more rare ones. But yeah, pretty happy to have added that to the collection. So it's this guy.
That Lex
right.
Luger?
No. See if we can get it to focus, but
oh, that's Mr. Perfect. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, my bad.
That's all good, man.
Lex Luger doesn't have blonde hair.
Well, out of focus, not the best lighting, so I can forgive you for that. But yeah, Mr. Perfect.
Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Whoop. So yeah, that's a pretty cool find for me. Pretty happy to add that to the collection.
I think I do maybe have a Hasbro. What is this one? This one? Nope, this is a Galoob. Never mind. I was gonna say I had this Lex Luger, but it's Galoob.
Yeah, I've got that same Luger.
I've got two.
Yeah, I've got a Sting, Surfer Sting, and that Luger that were actually mine when I was a kid.
I've got a lot of miniatures over there. I've got a Macho Man over there. I've got a Arn Anderson. Got a Jim Duggan. Got a Brutus Beefcake.
Yeah.
Got Undertaker. Just it's either Jax or Galoob, or it's not Hasbro.
Yeah. Well, the Hasbros are articulated and typically have like an action. You can pull the arm up and then it'll swing down, or drop kick action or something like that. So yeah, I've got Piper and a couple of Ultimate Warriors, a couple $1 Million Man, IRS, Big Boss Man, Jimmy Snuka, Legion of Doom. So I've got quite a bit of those. Like I said, for me, those are big time nostalgia. So.
Oh, I found the toy bunker.
Yeah. Were you able to? Did you actually go by there?
I did go by there right when they were closing.
Ah.
Got there at I want to say 7 o'clock on Saturday. Right in there before they turned off the open sign.
Okay.
The last customer browse. I didn't buy anything, but I did find, and tomorrow I'm going to go back and try to put the item on hold. I found the Ilya Dragunov figure I've been looking for.
Oh, okay. Did he? Yeah, I told you he had just gotten the wave before that in, so I knew that Elite 96 wave would be making its way there pretty soon. So he got that wave. Nice. So, who else is? Do you know who else is in that wave?
God, maybe Hogan. Maybe an old Hulk Hogan. He's probably in that wave. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
All I know is I want the Ilya Dragunov. I'm a big fan of Ilya Dragunov. Was Elite 96, 76?
96. So yeah, we've got Shinsuke Nakamura.
King Nakamura, Brock Lesnar, Piper Niven, Kofi, Ilya Dragunov, and all that whole wave is there.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think I'm really looking for anybody in that wave.
It'd be nice to have a Piper Niven, just to have a Piper Niven. But I really just want the Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah, I still need to check him out. He's is he Imperium? No.
No. He's UK. He's the Czar.
Okay. Yeah, I need to look up. Probably get you to send me like a match suggestion that I can hunt down and check him out because I'm not familiar with his work.
Let's see. I'll send you one. In my opinion, it's the best NXT match of all time. It's going to be Walter versus Ilya Dragunov.
Okay.
Let me see what event that is. That is, what event was that? It wasn't recent, but it was fairly recent. It wasn't NXT UK. NXT Takeover 36? Yeah, Takeover 36. Walter versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT UK Championship.
Cool.
Walter being champion and Dragunov being challenger. That was an excellent match.
All right. Well, I'll be sure to look that up.
I think it also got very bloody.
Okay.
So it's my favorite match on NXT by far.
Yeah, of all of them, best NXT match of all time.
For me, yeah.
Okay, cool.
For me, it's better than Gargano versus Ciampa.
Well, I'll be sure to check it out then. Maybe I can do that tomorrow. Yeah. So, I mean, are there any other gimmicks or wrestlers with gimmicks that come to mind? That are similar to your experience with Austin Theory, where you hated a particular gimmick and weren't really on board with a wrestler, and then over time it without completely changing the character, keeping the same name and everything like that, but kind of won you over.
Robert Roode.
Okay.
He's changed from the glorious one to the dirty dog.
Yeah.
The dirty dog is my least favorite.
Right.
I love glorious Robert Roode. My friend loved when he did the glorious stuff.
It was pretty good, man. It was pretty good. I liked him okay in Impact and Beer Money, but it wasn't anything too special. So when he came to NXT, I wasn't really expecting much, but the second his music hit, man, I was on board.
Just the piano solo and then glorious. That was. It kind of reminded me of a Ric Flair moment.
Yeah. The robe, all the gold and glitz and glamour.
And just the hand movements and the walking.
Mm-hmm.
Even did the Ric Flair strut.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that'd be the closest thing I'd have modern day. Nikki ASH with Nikki Cross as well. Didn't like that gimmick. Glad they changed it back.
Right.
Yeah. But one thing I did turn out to like, I hated Retribution when they first came out. I kind of missed Retribution.
Yeah.
Yeah, the silly masks and all, they kind of grew on me.
Okay.
If they were better designed and if the characters were better, if the delivery was better. I liked Mason T-Bar.
Yeah.
I didn't like any of the other ones. I didn't like Slapjack, and I didn't like Reckoning.
Okay.
Mason T-Bar were the best parts of that faction. And I play a video game, 2K22, where I still have them as Retribution, and I play as Retribution. I liked T-Bar and Mace as Retribution. Do I like Dijak better? Hell yes. Do I like
Right.
Mace more as Masue? No. I liked Mace.
Right. And this four-way match is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing a little back and forth with Jericho and Guevara.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit. They're just not on the same page. I think it's going to end up with Guevara turning face. Like, maybe in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, they might try it, but I don't know if Sammy Guevara is going to work as a face. he's especially after that entrance attire. He's just so like, it's just one of those guys that you just kind of want to punch in the face.
Yeah, he has that face.
Yeah.
Like I said, Austin Theory had that face while in the selfie phase, so Guevara's had that face for a while.
Yeah. I don't know. I would be happy to see him leave the Jericho Appreciation Society because I've mentioned before that they got a pretty solid group going there aside from Guevara and Ty Conti. I can't remember what she's changed her name to.
Did she change her name?
Yeah. Whenever she and Guevara tied the knot and brought their relationship to the TV, fans kind of turned on them, and that's when they went full on heel.
Yeah, Tay Mello is the new name.
Mello, yeah. Well, Ty Conti sounds an awful lot like something I can't say here, and she was getting a bit of that on social media, so she ended up changing her name to avoid that association.
Yeah. Tell you what, though, I'm not a fan of neither Tay Mello or Guevara. So
No, I'm not on board with either of those. Anna Jay, I think, has potential. She's still a little bit green.
Anna Jay is from Opelika.
Oh yeah.
Yep, my wrestling coach coached her brother, and knows her. So,
that's news to me. I didn't know that. So
yeah,
small world.
Small world. So he usually watches her on TV whenever he catches it. So
I like her. I see a lot of potential there. I do think she's still a little bit green and needs a little bit of work, but I mean that's kind of why I liked her in the role that she was in before when she was with Dark Order, because that felt like a more appropriate position for her to be in.
She was giving more of a big push. When Brody Lee was around, they were pushing them big.
Yeah. But also, I mean, I don't know, being associated with the Dark Order, I don't know, didn't really have her closer to the top of the card, whereas I think, being with Jericho, that association, there is, I think, kind of bumped her up a little bit. So I don't know if she's quite, ready for a bigger role. But like I said, she's good. I see potential there. So I'm not too bothered with her being in the group. I think the Anna JAS is kind of clever, kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, as you watch All Out, I guess. Well, not All Out. Sorry, Full Gear. I don't know why I said All Out. That's why I was talking earlier. My brain is just messing with me.
Yeah, you're a little under the weather, so it's forgivable.
Yeah. But I don't think we have much to talk about. I think next week, since we're about to, in Full Gear and watch all the matches, I guess we'll talk about most of what you've seen at Full Gear next week.
Yeah, we'll save it for next week, I suppose. Yeah, because I know some of the other stuff that happened, but I can't really speak on it in terms of whether or not it's worked for me or a good call or not. So yeah, we can just kind of put a pin in it and pick it up next week. I didn't get a chance to watch Impact this week either, so I plan on finishing this up tonight and checking out Impact tomorrow. And then we'll have a whole other week of wrestling to get into and chat about. So yeah.
Yep. And next week we'll be talking about Full Gear, and we'll be talking about Survivor Series War Games, which would happen the night before. November 26th. I'll be watching it live.
Cool.
I'll be watching that inside the Iron Bowl. Because I already know who's going to win. I already know who's going to win the Iron Bowl. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah. What do you think there? What's obvious?
Bama. Bama's obvious.
Yeah.
Auburn's trash. Yeah. Auburn's been trash for 10 years.
Yeah, Auburn's been having a pretty rough season. I don't really pay it any attention. It's just a pain in my butt, getting to work and back with all the traffic, home games. So yeah, I don't really know much or care much. I pull for both, man. I live in Auburn, Alabama, so I pull for both. Either outcome, I'm pretty happy. So.
Well, I was raised by the one and only Bama picking and grinning, so.
Yeah.
My opinion is very biased.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I guess that's all we're going to do for tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'm sorry again for me and not sounding too well. Just not really. I'm really under the weather, guys. Next week, I promise you that I'll be feeling a lot better, talk a lot more smoothly, and we'll actually have a topic.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll probably be a bit more caught up. So yeah, we should have more to talk about next week.
Yep.
But yeah, we're creeping up on an hour and a half, so that's not too shabby.
That's usually where we end it.
Yeah. But yeah, Chris Jericho, still the Ring of Honor champion, the Ocho.
Is it the Ocho or the Ocho?
The Ocho. Spanish, man.
For
8.
Wait. It's the Ocho.
It's Spanish for 8.
What? Why is he?
It's because he's held 8 world titles, I believe.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's the Ocho, man. So yeah, Britt Baker and Saraya coming up.
Yeah, that one's. I'll leave that one to you to judge.
Yeah, I've heard some things, so I'm gonna watch it just because I'm curious to see Soraya's return and see if the things that I've heard are accurate.
Yeah, you could see that she's still a little bit ring rust, but overall, it wasn't a terrible match.
Okay.
But
I've never been a huge fan of hers. I like her okay, but never been a huge fan. So we'll see.
well, as you watch that, I guess I'll do the outro.
All right, man.
Well, thank you all for watching and for joining us for this week's Babyface Breakdown. I am Big Bubba Brogdon, and he is Bush the Luchador Dingo. No, I didn't say that right. It's Bush Dingo the Luchadoric.
Boosh.
Mix it around. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah, frontwards, backwards. But yeah, find us on YouTube. The Bad Brothers. Give us a subscribe there and check us out on Instagram.
If you will. Maybe even share the video, if you do that.
Yeah. If you know someone who would maybe enjoy it. Or even, maybe hate it. Share it.
We'll be seeing you all next week with War Games and Full Gear, full coverage, and for the week's just news. I know there's a billion other podcasts that you can go to, but this one is where the real jokes are.
Yeah, the edited version. Try to throw a little bit of something different in on last week's episode. Yeah, let us know how you like that. If you thought that was entertaining, let us know. If you hated it, let us know. We'll never do it again.
Yeah, and I get it. My disses are very cringe. I watched the episode.
Oh, well, yeah. You guys take it easy. Enjoy your week, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.